So suffice it to say, things are getting real out there. And a lot of people are trying to plan disaster preparation into their budgets. Sort of like PPE on steroids. Because you know, this ain't no COVID. I mean, really, this guy by the name of Peter Berezin says that civilization has a 10% chance of collapsing due to a nuclear war. He says that the risk of Armageddon has risen dramatically and now sits at an uncomfortable high 10% chance of turning into a nuclear fallout wasteland. He goes on to say, if Putin feels he has no future, he may try to take down everyone with him. All right, so enough about Putin. Let's talk about our budgets here. Now, if you have the money, you have to figure out how much to spend. Maybe it'll be like $100 a month, or maybe $100 a week, or even $500 a week. Or you can just buy one thing every week, regardless of how much it costs. One week you can buy radiation protective cover over boots. The next week you can buy radiation protective gloves, because, you know, you already bought that radiation suit like a while ago, right? But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can't do this. Just think about it. You can't afford living through normal circumstances, but now you think you're going to be able to survive through a nuclear war. If you're so financially strapped, the first thing you got to do is save more money or figure out how to make more money at the same time. You need to be at a point where you'll have a surplus of money where you can make money, save it, and then have enough money left over to invest a significant portion of it. Only then will you be able to buy disaster preparation products. Look, it's always good to prepare for the worst, even if it's a disaster so bad it's a nuclear war. But if you're not already financially successful, there's no way you could prepare for a disaster of that magnitude. If you're already investing 10 or 20% of your income, then you can think about a few things to buy here and there. Sometimes it's best to designate a certain product that you might want to buy in any given week. And if you do that week after week, then after 6 months or a year, you'll have plenty of stuff. Like one week, buy a respirator mask. The next week, buy a bunch of water. The next week, buy boxes of pasta. The next week, buy a box of potassium iodine pills, and so on. And also hitting that like button in case you want to go back to the like section so you can find this video so you can remember all that stuff. You literally have to think about everything you need to survive, and then you have to buy it so you actually can survive. I mean, think about it. If you're really preparing for a nuclear war, then there's no point in being prepared for only a couple of weeks. You'll need at least 5 to 10 years worth of stuff so you can be able to live downstairs, like in your basement or in your bunker, without being able to come out at all. You can't just come out after 2 or 3 weeks and expect everything to be okay out there. So with that said, you'll need a lot. Like, for example, you'll need dozens of toothbrushes just for yourself, let alone any kids or family members. You'll need at least a 10-year supply. A 10-year supply of toothbrushes, of soft picks, of dental floss, of toothpaste. You need to plan as if you won't have access to the outside world for a very long time. And if you need to go to the dentist and you can't, you literally could die. Another thing is salt. Sometimes people think they can stock up on like rice and beans and pasta, but they usually forget about salt. Salt is something most commonly forgotten about that's vital for survival. You need about 10 pounds per person per year to be able to survive. Because if you don't have it, it'll mean certain death. But you need to ask yourself, are you prepared to do this? Are you prepared to step out into the world to rebuild it? Are you the best and brightest that humanity has to offer, that you can prepare yourself so well that you're able to survive for 15 years and then go out into the world and rebuild civilization? If your answer is no and you can't afford to do something like that, then you have to think about how you can increase your financial success now, right now, while you have very little. Dude, it doesn't make sense to struggle to spend $50 a week on disaster preparation supplies if you can't pull through enough to invest more in yourself so you can make more money in 6 months or a year from now. You need to invest in yourself so that that $50 struggle for disaster preparation supplies can someday in the future be an easy expense of $500 without even breaking a sweat. You need to either, 1, invest money so you can make more money, 2, invest a lot of time and hard work into something that's going to pay off into the future so you can make more money, or 3, invest in something such as educational supplies, books, and so on so you can learn how to make more money in the future. You need to do that so you can be far better off, and before you know it, you might even be able to afford some top-of-the-line bunker so you can sit back and just wait out those end times. One thing's for certain, well, a few things, but the first one is, don't panic! 2, don't buy any disaster preparation on credit cards and take on any new credit card debt if you don't already have the cash. Number 3, don't spend that much on stupid stuff because there's economic concerns out there, so just try to be frugal. And number 4, and most importantly, make sure you hit that like button so we can satisfy those YouTube gods. Jesus, bloodthirsty sons of bitches, But cut back on non-essential purchases and save money so you can have more money to invest. And one of the best investments you can do for yourself if you have credit card debt, the first thing you need to do is pay off that credit card debt because it's not worth it to be paying that interest. And then once you've done that, set up a savings account, set up an emergency fund with a high interest savings account. And then finally, once you've done that, you can explore other things. But you have to secure yourself first. And then maybe you want to take a look at the markets right now. There's an enormous dip. It's always good to buy the dip. But you have to carefully examine the companies of the stocks you want to buy because some of them might not have the expertise to pull through the dip and they'll probably go under. It sometimes happens. But there are other companies out there who know how to pull through the dip and they'll become the Amazons of the next decade. And if there is no war this year, you can plan your financial life carefully and then you'll be successful in the next year or maybe the year afterwards. And at that point, you'll be able to buy any preparation product that you can possibly think of. All right, that'll do it for me. Give me a like. It took me forever to actually film this just now because I have a little problem with my throat. I kept coughing in between takes. So yeah, give me the like for the effort. I appreciate that, guys. And follow me on LinkedIn. Subscribe to me if you haven't already and follow me on LinkedIn, link in the description below, and I'll see you soon.